miraculous rescue near Lowell. How search crews were eventually able to find a missing woman and some advice if you ever get lost out in the woods.
Plus, a 150-year-old mill that's been burned and now restored is giving back to the community.
And this morning, tracking some difficult road conditions along the passes, even down into Siskiyou Summit. We'll talk more about it coming up in our forecast.
Live, local, late breaking. This is NewsWatch 12 this morning.
Good morning. The time is 6 a.m. as you wake up to this view here in Medford. Brought to you by the People's Bank on Biddle Road. It's currently December 16th. Welcome to NewsWatch 12 this morning. I'm Damon Alvarado.
And I'm Brinkley Hill. We're going to check in with Storm Tracker 12 meteorologist Sarah Kress this morning because it is a blustery and cold morning.
Yes, for sure. And as you're heading out this morning along those passes, you're going to want to have those chains along with you. Temperatures this morning as you're heading out the door, we're into the 40s in Medford this morning. So it is feeling maybe a little bit warmer, but definitely seeing some of those breezy conditions. But right now, again, as we're heading over to Josephine County, tracking rain, and as we're heading into Northern California along those passes, snow this morning. So heading out to class, definitely going to want to take an umbrella with you. We do have some closures east of the Cascades. So you're going to want to check on our website to see if your school's closed today. Now, some of us will be happy to get a snow day, but if you're still heading out to work this morning, you got to head along those passes. Again, plan for some extra time, especially as you're heading along the Siskiyou Summit and areas as we're heading over towards Diamond Lake, even Lake of the Woods. But for the rest of the day, we can expect our temperatures to make it up into the 40s as we're into Medford and Grants Pass. So not too warm for the day, but not coming up much from what we're feeling like this morning. But over into Brookings, a high of 52, down into Klamath Falls, 40. A lot of those areas east of the Cascades, your temperatures will remain into the 30s for the day. Now, we're expecting more rain and snow as we're heading later into the day as well. I'll talk more about it and plan it all out coming up into our next forecast.
On a traffic alert, Oregon Highway 66 and 273 are closed due to winter-like conditions. Oregon Highway 273, miles 0 to 12, is closed from its start to its intersection with Green Springs Highway or Oregon Highway 66. And Oregon Highway 66 itself is closed from Ashland to milepost 50.
This entire week, you're going to want to avoid traffic on Highway 99 in Phoenix on your commute. Road work is starting today from Glenwood to Coleman Creek. ODOT will be widening Highway 99 and adding crosswalks with flashing beacons. Crews will also be closing lanes to add street lights and adding a new drainage system. You can head to our website to see more details about that closure.
Parts of D Street and Grants Pass will be closed this week as well for large-scale firefighter training exercises. The city of Grants Pass says the D Street closure will be between 6th and 7th streets today, tomorrow, and Friday of this week. If you see smoke on those days between 5 and 8 p.m. coming from River Valley Church, don't be alarmed. That's part of the training.
Some Klamath County high schoolers are working on a project that will benefit the entire state. Henley High School students transforming an old school bus. Join us live in studio as NewsWatch shows Luke Doughton. Luke, you were able to go inside the bus and watch the students work.
Damian, Brinkley, Henley engineering and digital media students are just a few months into this 2-year project. They're turning this old bus behind me into a wildfire command center. Take a look.
That's awesome to be able to have the students be able to like see how all of these kind of departments work together to make one thing.
An old school bus is sitting behind the middle school at the Henley complex. Soon, this bus will have new life. Right now, this looks like a normal school bus, but in just a couple years' time, it's going to be a fully functional wildfire command center for the Oregon Department of Forestry. Now, there's a lot of challenges in this, such as reusing as much as possible, like the seats I'm sitting on right now.
It's really awesome to be able to give back to someone who's been so prevalent in the Klamath Basin. Obviously, wildfires are huge in this area.
Dylan Orr is a junior at Henley High. He is part of one of 5 teams making designs for the bus. These teams are getting the chance to learn things like industry standard software and how to work with a client to build what they need.
And our kind of vision for our design for the bus, at least, is kind of having a central area where the firefighters are able to kind of strategize on their plan of action.
Those 5 teams are competing to be one of 2 designs moving into the next phase. By next fall, a final design will be selected and construction will start. And the digital media phase of this project hasn't started yet, but coming up at 6:30, we'll break down that part of the project, as well as some of the biggest challenges Dylan says his team is facing. I'm Luke Doughton, live in studio.
Thanks, Luke. And this morning we have an update. The 5-year-old boy who disappeared from his Coos County home died in the woods from hypothermia. The Coos County Sheriff's Office says they're still waiting on a final autopsy report, but the investigation into digital as well as physical evidence has led the Sheriff's Office to believe that Joshua McCoy walked out of his mother's home while she was sleeping. Joshua was found dead 2 miles from the home on November 12th, 3 days after being reported missing. This investigation is still ongoing. We have more details about Joshua's case on our website.
A search and rescue operation near Lowell has come to a positive end, and volunteers say it's not short of a miracle that 76-year-old Cheryl Lake Guadalajara was found alive. It was an urgent search in the service roads around the community. An estimated 12 agencies, includes local law enforcement and search teams, jumped into action, hoping to find Guadalajara. According to team members, the early December weather and dense forest made the search challenging.
So weather and the night times were freezing. Temperatures were in the freezing. We encountered ice and a lot of fog. Fog was one of the most difficult weather aspects.
Despite the conditions, the search teams were able to locate the missing woman's vehicle and herself on a slope, exhibiting signs of hypothermia. She was then rushed out of the forest and into an ambulance that took her to the hospital. Officials say she's now out and recovering with her family. Lane County Sheriff's Office officials say it's important that people understand that in the event that you become stranded, it's best to stay inside your vehicle. That way, you're more protected from the elements and easier to spot.
Staying with your vehicle if you are lost somewhere up in the woods especially. There are so many things that go into finding somebody successfully that the more tools that they start out with, the better our chances are of help.
Volunteers said searching a forest in the elements is difficult, but it was worth it in the end.
As you finish decking the halls of your home, you might want to look around at your decorations. The Red Cross sharing some safety tips this morning to avoid a house fire all season. Now, the Home Fire campaign has saved over 2,000 lives since 2014. The American Red Cross has been working for over 10 years to educate families on house fires. This program can help you create an escape plan and install free smoke alarms in high-risk areas across the country.
Make sure to keep candles away from anything flammable and never leave burning candles unattended. Make sure holiday light cords aren't frayed or broken. Make sure outside decorations are for outdoor use and fasten lights securely. Make sure to keep live trees fresh with water and don't light your fireplace if there's stockings or other decorations on the mantle. You can find more info at the website on your screen.
Some of our favorite foods like cookies, muffins, and cakes all need flour, and one local mill produced around 800 pounds of it, with all of the proceeds from that flour going to a good cause. Now, Butte Creek Mill used to be a consistent business, but now it's a nonprofit. The mill educates the community while also giving back. This year, court-appointed special advocates, or CASA, spent the day yesterday making flour with the proceeds, helping to fund CASAs who advocate for children in the court system.
Any money we raise going forward after expenses, we want to put back into the community for education, for good causes like CASA, whatever we can do.
Now being run by volunteers and serving to be an integral part of Rogue Valley history. And with Mount Ashland also seeing quite the snowfall this weekend, it was a perfect time for the opening of their brand new Lithia chairlift. The new lift creates even more access to the mountain for skiers and snowboarders of all ski levels. It also creates a designated area for elementary and middle school teams to race. The mountain says they are nothing but excited to see it opening.
It's going to be a great day here on the mountain. We're going to have 5 lifts running today. Sonnet, Lithia, Comer, Windsor, and First Act. Lithia opens today. It's a powder day. I'll see you on the mountain.
Gas says that the new chair has been years in the making. Mount Ashland has a lot of difficult runs and has created a reputation for attracting more experienced skiers. But with this new ski lift, as well as more plans to expand easier terrain, Mount Ashland is really focusing on attracting all levels of skiers.